Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Kilwa. We had just left off with a devastatingly war against Egypt, leaving our sultanate deep in debt. We were hoping to take the Delta and made it, we just kind of ground against them for 15 years. It was a resounding failure in what should have been our triumphant moment. So that leaves us with basically a lot of housework we have to do to get ready for the next step. The next step, of course, being going in and doing it again. But before that, we have about 11,000 ducats in loans we have to pay off, and a whole lot of vassals that we have to integrate, so that we can achieve, of course, our long-term goal of having the largest market in Africa, which is why we must usurp Alexandria. Meanwhile, as we've been distracted on the east coast of Africa, the European colonizers are making their way down. We can see the Aragonese colonies, the Portuguese colonies, and I believe the Castilian colonies as well. So we're also about to have trade with the Europeans open up. And to top it all off, we are totally out of institutions, so we're just waiting for printing press to spawn or to make its way down to us so we can finally embrace something, because we've not been researching anything for about a decade. So without any further ado, I'm just going to be paying back all of the debt we owe in about 40 loans. Oh gosh, we're paying out like 25 ducats a month in interest. Holding the nation together, trying to modernize, and if anything interesting happens, I will tee you up. Okay, I think that this is not the best way to do it, but it's how I'm going to do it. The only way for me to break even is by minting, as I have to keep my Diplo spending up. If I let my Diplo spending go, a lot of my vassals get rowdy. Not all of them, but enough to be a concern. And I need my Diplo spending up so that my annexations actually progress at a reasonable pace. So I have to kind of just accept it as accept growing inflation and hope that as I annex my vassals in, one of them has a decent pile of money that I can put towards setting off my loans. Because I'm already max taxing most of the estates I can be bothered to tax. I mean, like, the Alema doesn't have that much for me. The burgers I can't tax anymore. The Dimby I really can't tax anymore either. It's a little counterintuitive, but I am going to take out some loans to embrace printing press because I think not researching is even worse than the debt we have, and possibly we can research our way out of where we're at. Yeah, like, you know, actually get some economic building and promotes more institutions and hopefully just do more with what we have quickly. Alrighty, so I have found the road to economic recovery. It's just slow and tedious. We're essentially taxing all of the estates to the nines, and we're going to deal with some local revolts. I might have to pull back. I don't want to deal with the noble revolt like that. But we're making ground. It's just difficult to. And eventually, oh, as we pay off more debt, we'll be able to pay off more debt faster. And we're not going into a heinous amount of inflation. I mean, 20% inflation isn't good, but it's not as bad as it could be. Also, very disheartening. You can see this is right when the war happened, and then the Egyptian economy just grew 200 ducats the second the war stopped. Ours is still limping along in recovery. We haven't hit the peak since before the war. So, a little disconcerting. I don't know how I'm going to challenge Egypt to get up there. I don't want to sit around in friggin' Somalia for 200 years. I just realized the worst thing about these revolts is technically they cut off my control in Nubia because they destroyed the road connection. So I'm all 160 ducats and have to rebuild that too, which isn't terrible. It's just another thing that didn't need to happen right at the second, but is happening right at the second. And yeah, somewhat horrifically, that truce with Egypt has already worn off, and they look like they don't care a single bit. They've already regained back up to 100,000 troops, and their economy is growing while we've sat here and festered. Oh. No idea how I will get there. But we will. We will prevail. Okay, so the economy is almost back to baseline. We've recovered decently. Um, I don't want to go past 20 inflation on minting, but it's a very useful tool for getting out of where I am right now. Um, then we'll start working on reintegrating some of the more core stuff. And then we'll even think about looking back up there where Egypt has, oh geez, so much stuff. Alrighty, and with this last loan repayment, I will finally clear my name of debt. Um, we're actually not making that much, but at least we're debt free now, and that gives us hopefully opportunity to reinvest back in the country and grow. It only took what 20 years to finally clear our name. Okay, so I do manage to secure an alliance with Tunis, which Tunis has 70,000 levies to throw around. They're not a joke. Um, with Tunis and Yemen and we really do outnumber. If I could get the Jalairids on board, we really could outnumber and maybe even challenge Egypt. But that's a big if. I can get them all on board, and I can't forget Ogeron. Okay, we have made it all the way to the Age of Reformation, so I am going to go for a Diplo focus just because it has a bunch of trade bonuses that I can eventually get to, trade maintenance, and some other things in market attraction. So hopefully it will let me do what I need to do. So if I was to deck on Egypt, no CB, only the Ottomans would join. All of these people, though, owe me at least 10 favors, so I can call them into the war. And that will put our numbers at, I can field 50,000, Ogeron can field, so with me, Ogeron and Jalairids are at 100,000, Tunis puts us at 180, Yemen would put us at 100 or 230, and the Ottomans would put us at about 250,000. We would outnumber them by 100,000 troops, literally on all possible fronts. So I'm going to start building a spy network so that we can challenge Egypt soon, because I think the reckoning is a coming, and it's just going to take us a little bit. While we're going on in the background, I'm just going to be spamming out a whole bunch of heavy cavalrymen. Call me cheesy. It's I want this achievement because this sucks. For 30 years, for 30 years, we've sat on the Horn of Africa and licked our wounds. For 30 years, we've waited for an opportunity to come back and take what is ours. For 30 years, we have bided our time. We are back, and we are going to take what is ours. This is it. This is the time that we take back Egypt. We have grown our economy. We have a better professional army than we did before, 6,000 heavy cavalry. Egypt has never been weaker compared to us. And it's our time. Kilwa's time in the sun. So, with our attack threatening rival CB, we're going to call in all of our allies the traditional way, and then we'll have to go to the Jalairids and use our influence on them, and to the Tunisians and use our influence on them. And now, in theory, we outnumber Egypt greatly, about 250,000 to 150,000. Okay, just taking a first honest look at the numbers, we have 350,000 levies. They have 127. Let's see here. Tunis is making a move into Libya and seemingly sieging things down. There is a mess happening in and around the Syria-Anatolian border. The Jalarids are seemingly just bouncing off them. And we're making minor gains along the Red Sea coast. Egypt is almost cleaning us up 2-1. That's why I was so happy to have such an overwhelming number advantage. Because they've lost 60,000, we've already lost 100,000. And like the Tunisians actually have the North African cavalry too, so that's even more impressive that they're bleeding as bad as they are. Hopefully, though, since the Egyptians professionals are back in Africa, the Jalurids and the Ottomans can make some gains, although they kind of look to be sucking tar on Dalkadir. We're currently sitting on a fort, the gateway of Aswan, and then we're going to work our way up through the Nile. And it looks like the Egyptians' professional army is coming to challenge me. So, yeah, they're going to take the fight there. So we're going to leave just the men-at-arms to stand on the fort. And we're going to send in the heavy cavalry to back up the battle. And let's see how this goes down. Hopefully this goes better than last time. We are trading roughly equally. They are killing more of us, but their centers collapsed. And we're... Oh. Yep, heavy cavalry was the sauce that I needed. Like, we lost a lot of levy there, but that's what levy's good for, right? And I'm certain that they can obviously recoup those losses a lot easier than I can. But you know, if they're heavy or professional troops are challenging me, not a question, because they're not fighting the AI. Yeah, just to give you an idea of how incompetent the AI is, we have lost 215,000 and Egypt has lost 55. So like the ratio is roughly the same. It's just we're bleeding more than 2-1. That's their professionals. Yeah, the professionals are coming back down to challenge me. We've made it back to the fort where we were originally. Let's see, the Jalarids are still in, the Ottomans are still in, Tunis is still in. I am getting to the point where I'm somewhat worried about my allies dipping. But you know, nothing I can do about that. I just have to keep on going. So now we are on the gates of Cairo. Oh yeah. Knock knock, Mamluks. The writing's on the wall. It's time to let me in. Maybe it's not a fantasy after all. I'm expecting them to throw basically everything they have at me and do their best to not let me, you know, do what I'm about to do. Oh, baby. Cairo just fell. Now, Egypt isn't willing to come to the table quite yet, but I think that means I'm on the ropes. Alrighty, this is the peace deal. I'm gonna explain it because it's pretty gross, and you know, I feel like you can use my explanation. Obviously, we're taking these southern ones because they are the closest that I can theoretically control. Obviously, this is almost all of this is going to get released to a vassal. But for example, the states of Kiz have 360,000 pops, and Asyut has another 250,000. I'm taking the province of Shruna because it is a fort, and I just don't want it in my way. Then we get up here, and we're taking the entire pizza wedge of Garvida, which is almost 800,000 pops. And although there's no absolutely insane RGO in there, that is about a third, okay, about a quarter of my total pop count. So that will be very good just to deny to Egypt, even if I have to release it when I release it as a vassal. And we're also going to take the single location of Demeta, 200k city, only making fish. What we're going to do with this is I'm going to set up a naval governor here and use it to start projecting control in. So eventually, when I annex in this vassal, I actually have a way of maintaining good control. That naval governor, eventually, I'll move it elsewhere when I move my capital. Also, because I believe that will make Egyptian a large enough percentage of my population that I can accept it and prime myself for culture flipping. Yeah, and I'll replace it with Swahili. Jeez. Or sorry, I'll replace Swahili with it. Anyway, And then we're just taking 1,000 ducats for the pleasure. Um, I cannot explain how nice it feels to bounce back after what happened. Egypt just lost 1.5 million pops, 200 tax base. Oh, and we are sitting on their front door. I obviously want to improve relations with this vassal and make sure that they love me, as I will do with all of them. And before too long, I'm going to do that again and do my best basically to eat up directly next to Cairo. I wonder if I can circle Cairo and like destroy their control. Also, because we are integrating this and need to actually get good control in this area, I am going to pick up administration of the shipyards. That is at the cost of the minting privilege, and you can immediately see the drop in income that we experience. But I desperately need to make sure I can get a naval governor on the north side here, because there are too many pops there to not have control over. All right, and we will lay down our new naval governor in the Meta. This isn't going to be the final position of the naval governor. I mean, eventually I want to move my capital up to here, but oh, it's so nice. We're about to crack this place wide open with money. Well, you can see the economy is it's exploded. You can very clearly see where that war ended, and why it's so high. Now that this city is integrated, and because we accept Lower Egyptian a full core, we're going to get 80% control. This city has 80 wealth. The biggest location, like yeah, Kilwa, the city of Kilwa, only has 60. That's how much value is in the entire Egyptian delta. Um, like what I was eating down in um, Sudan was like Soba, our second governor, has 13, or Dongola has 30. So we're about to get a massive spike, and look at all of those buildings. Oh gosh, this is amazing. Well, you can see it in the income, right? It immediately we're making hundreds of ducats. The only thing I'm concerned about is making sure I stay technologically on edge with the Mamluks, which is why I'm about to spend a whole lot of money upgrading all of my cavalry to lancers, and hopefully, when the truce comes up in 3 years, I can bap them over the head again. They're already up to 100,000 troops though, so it's gonna be a big war all over again. Luckily, I should have my allies. Just at a glance too, I can already tell this is gonna be really fun because Alexandria is at 3,000 market value, and if I look over into India, I can see that some of them are starting to scrape 10,000. Um, I know that I might be putting the cart before the horse here, but if India gets too far ahead, I might actually just have to sail over there and burn it down. Which sounds so stupid, but I can't have them having such a valuable market. I mean, even the Pope. Oh, I don't know. Deal with that when I get there. Alrighty, and now for a big war. We're of course going to go for the attack threatening rival CB, call in the Ottomans, call in Yemen. I will use my favors to call in the rest. So theoretically, uh, just boy, theoretically the numbers off the bat are in our favor. Though I know the Mamluks can raise about 100,000 levy. My professional army is cut off in the middle of Egypt. Counterpoint, my professional army is in the middle of Egypt. So I'm going to do my best to fight out back to my lines. Watch my entire economy blow up when I click this button. Yeah, I'm going to try and get my professionals out of the middle of the country. Um, guys, instead of killing yourselves, why don't you stand with my... Ooh, or we can immediately challenge that massive Egyptian army. That wouldn't be suicide, would it, guys? Oh gosh. Just out of curiosity, how bad of an idea would that be? Wow, that's a massive battle, and it is going so far in our favor. Yeah, 3,000 to 20,000. That's a good deal. Um, yeah, we might be able to bag Egypt a little bit easier this time than I thought. But the numbers are also 400,000 against 100,000. Okay. If anything interesting happens, I'll let you know. Okay, so yeah, we cut off Egypt essentially from the coast here, taking Alexandria, and the Sweet Trade Zone. Um, we get this. We creep further up the Nile. We take all but one province of the Declinia, or all but one location of the Declinia province. That really leaves us with the ability next war. If we don't take that much, we should be able to cut Egypt off. And 200 ducats just for doing business. Um, this is the best peace deal I could have asked for. Look at that too. Control of the Alexandria market. So we are a little bit in debt. We are completely out of manpower. We have a lot we have to do. But I just want to appreciate this for a second. I understand you're seeing this in very cut up time periods, but this is days worth of effort, and oh boy, does it look good. With Egypt, we have another 7 year truce, so I'm just going to wait for that to burn off and then go on and again. To get all of the good land, it'll probably take me 3 more wars, honestly, at least to get all of the core Egyptian land. Um, that's why I'm thinking about being cute and cutting them off here, but honestly, like, I might just have to bite the bullet and try and eat Cairo. My antagonism outwardly isn't that bad. I mean, the Europeans don't care that I'm attacking a Muslim. So nothing is going wrong really. That's really funny because I am in control of the Alexandria market and Egypt is in control of the Damascus market. All of their Egyptian land now has awful market access, just in the name of not participating in my market. So we're going to have to, or not most of it, obviously not Ramsey, but we're going to have to clean that up quite quickly because that's stupid. Alrighty, now I'm gonna do some gross stuff. I am going to culture flip over to Egyptian, to Lower Egyptian, because it is yet again a stronger culture than Somali, and more of my pops are going to end up being it, and it will encourage the speed of my integrations. So Somali in this case is still very much a very welcome culture. Um, we are of course going to have the who's breaking their alliance? They thought about it for a second and then thought better of it. Good. Somali is of course still accepted, um, but we just have enough to do it, and hopefully that kind of makes everybody a bit happier in the long run. Obviously, in the short term, that negative stability isn't going to help the happiness of our people. Now, the reason I do all this gross culture flipping stuff is because that sweet, sweet Lower Egyptian subjects that I have are now going to integrate, like this big one that is 5 cities in a town in a trench coat, um, integrates in 10 years. If I was actually paying full Diplo, even faster. So, yeah, it's just so good. Culture flipping, if you do it right, is very powerful in this game. Uh, as long as you're flipping up, because like for example, I've done some really gross things. You can see that Somali is massively influenced all the way down the East African coast. I also have Azeron to thank for part of that. Um, Nubian, I've not done anything for, but they're giving me a bunch of control in specifically this area. And Lower Egyptian is going to give me so much control in all of this area. And eventually we'll just have to get rid of Upper Egyptian. Or maybe we just tolerate them. You know? Sometimes it's just that simple. Oh, wow. Ajran has finally stabbed me in the back. That's absurd. Please, don't do this. I want to be your friend, Ajran. Why would you do... Oh, it's because I flipped from Somali, isn't it? Yeah. Dang. That sucks. Oh well. Okay, Ajran. If you're gonna make me... Did you rival me? You even rivaled me. Wow. Devastating. Oh, I also just noticed something beautiful. One, we've crossed the 100 or the 1,000 tax base mark. But more importantly, we have passed or surpassed Egypt. And oh, isn't it wonderful? You can see this was the first war where their economy took off. That's the second war where it starts to go down, right? And this is another war that we've just kicked them down. Oh, that's beautiful. That's fantastic. And we're just gonna keep doing it. We're gonna keep kicking them down. Because apparently they're at war again. They're invading the Jailerids. Oh no, the Jailerids are decking on them. Wow, that's awesome. That's fantastic. If my allies think they can start jumping on in independently, weaken them up before I even have to get involved. Because as soon as this war goal, or as this truce is up, I'm going in myself. In about a year, we're going to start justifying. You know, now that I'm actually here and in Egypt, the game has gotten so much easier. We have no shortage of money. Like, it's beautiful. I don't have to tax my estates to the nines. You know, I'm still gonna do it because I like money. But like, I could even pull back on the stupid amount of minting I'm doing, and I would still be in the green. Um, it's fantastic. I'm so glad that I conquered my way up in this really gross line all the way to the Nile River Delta, just to steal it all. I mean, this vassal I'm working on annexing is going to have nothing but cities for me. It's tasty. And all of these cities here are getting built up to be stupidly high or turned into a massive fruit farm. It's great. Alrighty, and for the fourth time, we go in. This should be a roll because the Egyptians have already gotten tired out on the Jalarids, but just in case, of course, we bring in all of our friends and go over to Tunis. And once we get a diplomat, we'll use favors to call them in. Again, though, it shouldn't be an issue because Egypt is pretty tired as it is. They're out of levies, only their professional army left, and we have quite a competent professional army ourselves. So it should just be a pretty quick, well, as quick of a wipe as you can hope. Yeah. So this time I did make sure to actually get artillery. They're not good artillery. They're still the Age of Renaissance artillery, but it's better than no artillery at all. So we actually have some siege bonus. And as we work our way through, we'll take this, we'll go take Cairo, we'll go take Ramses. Hopefully that will be enough for Egypt to want to throw in the towel. I mean, they are heinously outnumbered even by their standards. Um, so hopefully it doesn't take too long for them to yield. Okay, I just ended up looking at the court language tab. Because I had an event to change over, of course. So like my court language is Arabic. It moved over from being Persian originally. But I noticed a couple oddities here. Like the court language of Egypt being Kipchak, which is a Turkic base, from what I can tell. Yeah, at least yeah, it's a Turkic-based language family, which is fun. I understand it's because the Mamluks are, yeah, they're usually ruled by a, well, no, they've always been ruled by a former. Listen, Mamluk military history is really complicated. I'm not going to say specifically, but they're normally ruled by a foreigner. That's all I'm going to say. Correct me in the comments. But then you get into other weird things, like how the Aretinids were speaking. What was it? It wasn't just Turkish. Um, it was Siberian Turkic, which is such a flex. Or how the Ottomans are speaking Mongolian, or how the Bulgarians are speaking Russian, which is again, sorry, not just the Bulgarians, also the Athenians. But the Russians aren't speaking Russian. Because why would they be speaking Russian? Or is it because I can't see them? No, I can see all the way up there. Why can I specifically only see blue 0? Are you winning? No, you have 2 ducats in tax base. Why are you a vassal of Georgia? What has happened? Oh no. How big is Georgia? Beautiful. So a full 100% peace deal. We are taking the entire western half of the Nile Delta, the rest of the Upper Nile, and the crown jewel of Cairo. A full 100 war score, a stupid amount of population. Most of this is cities, so I do have to release it as vassals because I cannot begin to integrate this all fast enough. As for the Mamluks, they have moved their capital all the way over to Syria. Okay, beautiful. So we did just manage to integrate our vassal, the first one we took from Egypt. So we actually will start working on Rashid, who hopefully will not take as long, but c'est la vie. 4 years isn't bad for what we're going to be getting out of him. On the month tick, all of his stuff will be beautifully cored. And once it is cored, we are going to move our capital to... Oh wow, it's going to cost 8,000 ducats. Well, simple way to fix that. We are going to move our capital to Samoon. It's not Cairo. Cairo's going to take a while to core, and I want to get my capital up here so I can start really paving my way in here instead of relying on a naval governor. So it is what it is. We're going to move our capital. We'll rip down the naval governor. And, oh, I still do need to integrate all of this to set up a local governor. So I guess I will be upgrading this into a city. Unless is there anything else? Ooh, is there a city that is foundable near here? Not really. Okay, should have seen this coming. Okay, no, there's a solution to this. We'll encourage migration. We'll encourage migration to the capital, to the former capital, while expelling pops from someplace that doesn't need them, like here, and hopefully that will get us the pops we need quite quickly to make a city. Oh, wonderful. And it seems that Europe has now managed to call together a crusade to bring down Egypt. So it seems like I'm going to be getting some new neighbors soon, which is, whether or not that's good for me, it's certainly interesting. All right, beautiful. So our capital has just moved up, which means everything on the Horn of Africa is about to run out of control. So I very quickly have to find a way. Oh, and that also means that the local governor here is going to go away. Shit, I should have thought this through. My economy is going to blow up a little bit, and then it's going to get better. I'm going to have to integrate through all of these vassals very quickly and fight a war against Egypt for this guy. Yeah, I could have planned this slightly better. Just a smidgen better. Man, at no point has my country looked good. Like, we're a mess. Also, the fact that Portugal is coming through Central Africa, I remember when this game was coming out, how they talked about how they didn't want the world to get colonized. It is, like, to get colonized over in, well, technically by the end date. It is 1586. Portugal should not be coming to Ethiopia the long way. Not great. Well, I mean, okay, game's good, but Portugal doing that, not great. Again, I know the AI is famously bad at doing naval invasion wars, but man, that is sad that all of Europe, um, Egypt has 83 truces, and with so many countries, from France to Lordship of the Pale, just everybody. Like, and they had 500,000 troops or something stupid like that, and they could not get there. That's pathetic. So, most of my vassals have been integrated. We have a stupid amount of control in Egypt. This is ridiculous. Um, the Nile River Delta is insane. I'm assuming the control doesn't flow as good upriver, but holy shit, the control is insane. And all of this is like 95, 99. and is so full of hops. I'm printing money the whole time, and I've just been pouring money, reinvesting back into the ground. The market is up to about almost 4,000. The problem is India is about at 12,000 with their biggest market. Yeah, at this rate, I might have to just build up a grand fleet and go and burn Gullerbog to the ground. I think within reason, I think I could almost cut it off from being coastal if I could like tactically take a couple tiles and make it inland, and I think that would collapse its value. Um, I'm hoping I don't have to do that, but we're making. Oh, this never got integrated. Oh, that sucks. Okay, well, time to start integrating that. Alrighty, so since I've basically had all of the money I could want and all the time to build up Alexandria, we've got it to about 4,000 ducats, which in about, what, 5 years with the market, like properly under control, that's pretty good. It's about doubled the market, but we're, we're gonna have to do something funny to keep up with what's happening in India. I really wish they would split that market in two. But even then, there's another one that's 10,000, right? Um, I don't quite know how I'm gonna get there. Ah, I just figured out why India is so wealthy. Um, the second largest country in the world and the sixth largest country in the world, Punjab and uh, Musuniri, are in a PU. That is, I'm assuming, decently well along. No, no, no. This is new. Okay. So hopefully it won't stay for too long. But they're in a PU that that controls like 50 million people, give or take. And so they're just kind of diving each other to the moon. That's horrifying. Also, we just finished integrating Cairo. All right, so we're gonna fabricate a CB on the Mamluks for the Shakira province and jump on the dog pile. Yeah, Ottomans, you get in here too. We really need a hand. Yeah, we'll go in with the Ottomans, and this should be just positively a roll. Um, we're just gonna take the. Actually, I was gonna set the army to go on auto, but then I remembered how stupid the AI is, so we're gonna manually do the army. But there's not gonna be a fight here. Okay, Egypt is well, I call it Egypt. It's almost everything but Egypt. But it's an absolute mess at the moment, considering there are three different major wars happening. There's my invasion, there's the Arabian invasion, and there is the Second Great Crusade against Egypt, which, with almost 1 million men, is somehow managing to kill against 30,000. Um, and the Jalarids have also recently taken a chunk back, I believe. If I go here, I thought that this was all recently taken. Either way, um, so we are going to piece out for what we have here, which is essentially Jafar, the last city here, um, but most importantly of all, reconnecting our land so I can actually have a road running down and therefore build local governors down here in the Horn of Africa. I just need a single bit of war score to let this happen. So let's just give it a month tick and hopefully the Egyptian AI can reconsider. Please and thank you. Okay, perfect. I get what I need, which is all the land I came for and reconnecting my provinces, and 400 ducats on top. We get to dip. Just like that. And after we integrate our vassals, we will have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful direct connection back to um, the Horn of Africa, which is hemorrhaging control. As you can see, there's no control, there's no proximity here. Really, it's a wonderful time. Um, so let's see. The Alexandria market is currently at almost 5,000. We are gaining on the inner market. That is the Gull Braga market. That's currently almost 13,000. At the moment, I'm just doing my best to lay down a whole lot of construction centers in the Nile Delta because I need to upgrade so many things. We just got tool guilds upgraded to tool workshops, was it? I believe. Yes. And I had some of my big provinces have like 20 of them. Um, I'm also doing my best to manage to watch the food situation as I don't want this market to start starving, and I need to lay down even more merchant quarters. So there's a lot to do. We are gaining in value, and as we sell more, we'll just gain more, and it's a cycle. Once I finish integrating my vassals here, I will also probably turn down my diplomatic spending, and then I'll be making almost 1,000 ducats a month, and that will really help me speed up the whole thing too. There's a lot of hopefully sprinkled in every word there, by the way. I mean, you can see our tax base just detonating upwards. Alrighty, and I have finally integrated my subjects, so now I will go to the local governor and not the Alexandria market. Let's see here. I will lay one down on Dakar and one down on, I want to make sure it's Soba. And I did put down a naval governor here. No. Interesting. I managed to completely forget. Beautiful. Um, well, either way, we will start to get control back into the Horn of Africa, real control, not just this. And hopefully before too long, things will normalize. Seeing then, oh, is it because I never, am I stupid? Well, don't answer that. Seeing as I'm only using one naval governor, then I guess I can take away which of these is better. Proximity cost report. I do want more locally development growth on my ports, so I will change out this government reform. And actually, I will slot in Kilwan trade communities because I think that extra trade capacity will help us get even more value out of Alexandria. To be fair, we have a stupid amount of trade capacity. We are pushing 500. That's gonna increase it to about 600, hopefully. Um, which, to be fair, will only start to rival what's happening in that massive, massive market there. But they're only making half as much profit, so we can continue to punch up. Because so long as I'm making like a ducat per trade, we're doing perfectly fine. Most people settle for significantly less. All right. Well, I've had a startling realization. If I can't out trade in value the Indians, I will just trade with them. So and steal all of their trade value. So I'm setting up a stupid amount, 100 at least, of trade offices in Lata, and hopefully that's enough for me to essentially get the value over there. We're starting to break, frankly, a stupid amount of value. Um, like I have no need for this much money, but I have to for the achievement. And we're just going through and upgrading buildings as we get it, and it's a whole bunch of this. That's why there's not too much recording happening. It's because, oh, we're not starving, are we? If you're wondering what tall gameplay looks like, by the way, it is me sitting in this menu, waiting for a month to take over to upgrade more of my buildings. That's like what this is what's been going on since we beat Egypt, and the economy's growing. It's not growing necessarily as fast as I would like it. Um, we are at 5.5 million in 1605. Um, we're actually starting to run short on look. Well, it's the pop promotion that's slow. It's not that we're running out of pops. Okay, so I have just been taking a look at the world and trying to understand because the first big market I saw was this over in India at 13,000. I also just noticed that the Pope owns Genoa and that's at 14,000. And then I was trying to take stock of like where the rest of the world was, and like yeah, Paris is at about 9,000. What was the other one? There was another one I swear that was expensive. Either way, so For me to have a chance, I need to hit about 10,000. Once I get to about 10,000, I could do something cheesy like sail right up next to Genoa and burn the Pope down. Take a single province, set up a market there, do something similar in India. But I need to be within striking distance for that to be worth it. At least 10,000, I would say. And we're doing decently. We're almost into 6,000 market value. We are growing very aggressively. And as the Age of Reformation rolls around, I'll be able, or the Age of Absolutism rolls around, I'll be able to, oh geez, set up change some of the bad trade goods here. Like we have an entire coast where it's just fish, and I'll be able to change that to chilies or something, maybe potatoes, um, to help push supply even harder, which will be very valuable. While we're sitting around just building up, I am going to re-invade. Oh, Egypt allied to Aragon this time. Interesting. I am going to re-invade Egypt with the Parliament CB. Whoops. I do need to get the Parliament CB just to finish taking the rest of the Sinai Peninsula. Oh, that's really funny. I was really confused why I kept getting a bunch of enslavement pop-ups, and it's because I'm technically at war with all of these colonies because they're all Aragonese colonies who Aragon allied Egypt, and my vassals are going to absolute town on them. So they're all getting enslaved into Sofala. So we're going to have a very noticeable Catalan minority um, showing up into the city or the town. Okay, so we're going to do something kind of weird. I am going to seize just Sinai, just the Sinai Peninsula from Egypt. There's some decent trade goods there. The iron is nice, but that's not the important part. The important part is I'm also going to take the top half of Sardinia. And the reason I'm going to do that is because the Pope controls so much of northern Italy. He has a massive trade node. So I think if I throw down a market right here on Campino, now it'll be 9,000 ducats, which is a bit, but if I create a market here on Posada, hopefully, once that finishes, it will rip away some of it. I think if I can curry enough favor with Milan, I might even be able to get favorable market access with Milan. Yes, and that will crush the Pope's kit. I'm gonna profess trust to Milan, and I'll be able to offer market access preference to Milan, and hopefully they'll exist within my markets. Um, oh my, and Egypt is exploding into the Sheikdom of Nimnan. Wonderful. Do you not have the market sector? No, you don't. I wonder, hey, you want market access preference? No, you do have your own market. Okay. Um, yeah, you know what, buddy? Go and win. Hopefully we can be friends. Well, that's interesting. Looks like the Mamluks are dying. And just as a quick update, because that war took a minute, our Alexandria is at 7,000 market value. So we are more than halfway to catching up with the Delbraga market and bringing the Pope's Genoa market to its knees. Ah, perfect. My stupid, disgusting plan is working. So obviously you can see I founded my market or a new market on Sardinia. I then cozied right up next to Milan and gave them market preference. And you can see that little speckles of my disgusting little market are showing up in Genoa, lowering the value. I'm not getting any real value out of Pazda. I'm not going to lie. But the goal isn't to make value, it's just to take value from Genoa. I would be just as happy if Venice got big. Not too big, but big. Um, or if Tunis, wanted to get big too. Um, I'm just here to pump it all back to Alexandria. Okay. Well, I have a couple other tricks up my sleeve just to make sure that my market spreads as um, violently as possible. So we're going to relocate the supermarket even further inland and down to where was the other city? Just because it seems kind of like the right place to put it. Was it El Gadirif? We're gonna move the all the way down, and then we're gonna take the Alexandria market, and we are going to reposition it into Cairo. We should still keep all of our trade presence over in the west. Hopefully, this will just push us into Arabia a little bit more, and basically give us a little bit more value. We'll see on the month tick. Um, didn't really do anything. It did push Mecca out of there. Well, we're up to 8,200 value. Okay. We are 4 techs away from what I think might get us really close. We are currently at 8,500. India for reference, 14,000. Genoa for reference, a little less. And those are the biggest markets I can see. There's a chance that China is doing something horrific that I couldn't hope to catch up to. But we are growing. I am also looking at conquering these or integrating my vassals because there's not much more they can do for me besides being integrated. Actually, I'll turn up the. We are so close. It's not even funny. Some of my locations have a 40 long build queue. That's insane. It's lumber mills and masons and bog smelters. We make 1,000 ducats a month off of trade. It's we're ridiculously rich. Like historically, we would go down famously. It's just a matter of being the richest for the achievement. And I don't know if I can catch Genoa. That there's a lot of pops in that market. Can I see how many pops are in that market? Uh, well, roughly the Pope has so there are more pops in the Genoese market than there are in Cairo, which is a concern. That's for certain. I might have to actually get on the Italian mainland and make like a Roman market, which is stupid as that sounds. I need to try and steal some of the value away from Genoa. Not to mention whatever the hell is happening on the Deccan Plateau. I don't know if I can threaten India. Okay, I think I am going to drop diplomatic traditions for where was it? Um, yes, for universal serfdom. The extra crown power would be nice. It would give you more of the trade value. The peasant power is just it's decent. And the progress to serfdom is ambivalent. Um, we're a little short on crown power, and when the age of absolutism rolls around, I am not going to be able to go absolutist easily. Um, so I need nice and easy things like this. I set exploration to auto. Can you tell that the AI took advantage of that? Holy shit, look at all of them. There are 30 exploration. I was wondering where my court was because I was missing people to assign to certain roles, and the game just said, nah, they're all exploring today. Okay. So we just unlocked the tanning industry to be upgraded. I figure I just take you with me as we go through, and you can see what I've been doing for the last 5 hours. If you're wondering why most of this episode is Egypt Wars, it's because this doesn't make good content. Um, and it really is. Yes, I could click this button, but sometimes it bugs out and I don't trust it. Actually, no, it's bugged out right now. It says I won't. It won't let me upgrade, and I can keep clicking it, but nothing's gonna happen. So I have to go through and manually click it all, um, and just hope that eventually, there you go. Either you run out of money or run out of buildings, and we ran out of money first. So hopefully, when that all's finished upgrading, it'll add more value on top, and we can maybe break into 9,000 this time if I'm lucky. We are kind of getting throttled by our lack of coal. and clay, apparently, in Chile. Well, Chile's will be able to deal with. The one that I'm really excited for is the cloth workshop, because we have a whole lot of cloth, and I think that will pop off our economy a great deal. You can see cloth is already one of our greatest surpluses. If we can drive that even lower, we can export to even more people, because we have a stupid amount of trade capacity. We have 1,400, so we're making a little less than a duck at a trade. But we deal on such large quantities, it does not matter. And even here, I'm not building up the market for value. I'm building it for market value, not for market profit. I have managed to take the fun out of the economy game, and instead just replace it with the sheer desire to shift click on things until it gives you enough money. I'm currently thinking about going in on the Sheikhdom of Lebanon just to destroy the Damascus market and hope that they rebuild it slightly further north so that I can get this land for my own market. That's the level of petty we're at right now, just to bring in more value. Because like look at what I did to the Pope, man. Look at what I'm doing to Milan. It looks like a viral infection. Like that's gross. But it cut $2,000 off their trade. See, this is what I was concerned about, and I do have to get involved in this. Milan is making a. Oh, this is an offensive attack. Oh, God. Okay, but Milan's going in against Rome, which means theoretically I can get in and steal Genoa, and or steal a different thing kind of close to the center Italy and make a new market and steal more of Genoa's value. Of course, that's only so effective when other markets like Paris is also hitting 10,000. But we're almost hitting 9,000, so you know it's a who cares? Okay. While this stuff with the Pope is going on, I am just going to no CB in on to Lebanon with Yemen, just to kind of honestly the main goal is to seize Damascus and to destroy its market, and also hopefully to pick up just some more of its land. We are going to be going down to about negative 50 stat. To that, I say, what are you going to do about it? I have money for this reason to support me when I do dumb decisions, and everything is fine. You're overreacting. Of course, meanwhile, we're actually moving away the entire professional army to go and fight the papists in Italy. So, you know, we're a little overstretched, but I have a lot of faith. I have a lot of faith in Yemen to win this war when Lebanon only has 90 troops. Not to mention all my wonderful, wonderful vassals. I'm gonna offer the Pope 2,000 ducats to just let me leave the war because he is destroying my ability to push naval presence. That is approximately not even a full loan. And I can start sewing together what he fucking broke. That hurt, I'm not gonna lie. Both my pride and my naval abilities. We lost a lot of ships we probably shouldn't have. Good news, we're just gonna send my big trade fleet back out to patrol the seas and start pushing naval superiority again throughout the Mediterranean. I don't want to fight European powers if I can help it. I want to punch down as much as possible because that's where you get your most profit from. I'm going to send my big ships now all the way back to Africa and basically get ready for the doomsday scenario that is having to invade India. Alrighty, so we're going to go for a very limited war against the Sheikhdom of Lebanon. I'm just going to take Damascus, which, yes, that's disgusting. But all we're going to do is take that terrible, terrible market of Damascus and delete any... Actually, can I just delete the market? Can I afford to destroy the market? If I get a bit more prestige, I can. Alrighty, so the new value of Alexandria is it really didn't change. Okay. I think that's because the value that I got from all these new provinces was lost by losing Cyprus, which is unfortunate. but I'm not sure there's much I can do about that without deleting the market, but I want to do my best not to delete the market. Okay, well, nothing I can do. I remember when I thought the building up the market part was going to be the fun part, and let me tell you, it it isn't. Um, I just want to be done. Like all I'm doing is clicking buttons, and I know that sounds like yeah no shit, but like I just look at my number, I look at their number, I go okay, it got bigger, okay, it got smaller, and yeah, that's the game. Okay. I do think I am gonna get rid of the Damascus market. I don't think they're gonna pop out another one, so we're just gonna destroy the market. And yes, Cairo gets, or the Cairo market gets that much bigger and puts our theoretical value up to, on the month tick, it will tell us 9,800. Okay, we are actually within striking distance. We're only 5,000 off. I might have to get up even into. Oh, that's disgusting. I might have to actually like take land in Anatolia so that it goes back to Cairo. Now I have to go and destroy the Mecca market too, which would suck because Yemen's been a good friend, but the market demands it. Alrighty, well I don't think I have much of a choice, so I'm gonna take land from the Emirate of Lebanon, ideally most of their northern coastal land. Use that to get borders on the Ottomans, and go in on the Ottomans to take most of their southern Anatolian land, to get borders on Cilicia to destroy their market. So hopefully, I will be able to project, even if it is very weakly, project the Cairo market all the way up into southern Anatolia and pick up a bunch of those provinces as well. My biggest competition, of course, is going to be something like Sarsgrad, but don't worry about it. Oh, yeah, you know it. Our market has just hit 10,000 ducats in value. That's right, 10,000 ducats. La di da. Oh my god, Genoa's at 1,600. Why, Pope? Why must you do this to me? Why didn't Milan break off their agreement? Milan, buddy. Oh no, I'm just not sticky enough to beat fucking Genoa. Okay. That's funny. I was just looking at my base tax. Do you want to take a guess at where the Pope blockaded me? I'll give you one good guess. That's how fucking financially devastating that was. That's why I need to get out of it. Um, we're still exploding economically. It's just I'm struggling to find more ways to grow the Alexandria market besides somehow just pushing it outwards. Because all of my actual locations have building queues that look like this. Or yeah. We're so filled up with stuff. It's kind of getting silly, and most of them, some of them don't, but most of my locations are at and comfortably past their building limit. Okay, now it's time to go in on Lebanon with a destroy enemy CB. Of course, Yemen is willing to back me up. Um, the goal is to take much of their Mediterranean coast. I don't know how much, but hopefully as much as is reasonable and possible. Wonderful. So we got the land that we wanted from Lebanon. So now, actually, I'm going to take the professional army and make sure they get stuck up here while they're black flagged. We're going to no CB into Egypt. And the reason for this no CB is because I'm going to use it to get borders on Cilicia, Cilia, Cilicia, or Sicilia? Man, I played as that country. I've done everything. I don't know how the fuck its name is supposed to be pronounced. I'm just gonna cut this anyway. Why do I care? Actually, okay, from Egypt, funnily enough, we're just gonna take the one state and leave. So now I can chain my no CB wars into one more. Let me just make sure. Yeah, my antagonism isn't too bad. So we are going to deck on Little Armenia. Actually, I guess I could get a cleanse heresy CB on them, right? Yeah. Okay, I'm actually gonna just fire religious war on them just because all that stab hit will add up eventually. The unfortunate thing is that will break my agreement with Cyprus, but say levy. If they don't have anyone else to trade with, they'll trade with me. Oh god, let me be clear. The challenge part of this left a while ago. It is now solely a test of patience of building up a market. This is uh it's not unenjoyable, but based on how fast EU5 runs, which is terribly slowly, um I started this last week and it is I put in like a full 8 hours to recording this today. That's since we conquered Egypt. That's how slow this game runs. And just like that, we have made it all the way to the age of absolutism. What do I want here? Yeah, I am gonna go with the admin focus for the age of absolutism. More importantly, with the age of absolutism comes the Columbian Exchange. And most importantly with that, I can spread Chile. I said Alexandria though. And we're also going to pave over the fish with chilies. We're going to turn those chilies into gold at an insane scale. Are you technically food? No. Okay, so we are going to lose all that irrigation. But besides that, money. So much money. Basically, money basically as fast as those chilies can be bought their top grade. And oh yeah, they're upgrading. I think I'm also going to commit some sacrilege and spread Chile to Alexandria. And I know that that's a little bit of a bad thing, but the chance of having 21 Chiles, we're going to hurt the economy for the short term to make it fly in the long term, you know? We're going to flood the world with sweet, sweet chili peppers. Alrighty, it's going to be quite expensive on Stab as I am going to be breaking a treaty. I don't know how I got with Cilicia. Oh, sorry. I really don't know. But I don't care. I need their land, and I need it now, and I'll just pay the stat cost later. So we're just gonna simply, uh, oh, can't do that because it's winter. As soon as winter ends, we're gonna march up and burn down their capital, and take it for ourselves and destroy the trade center. I'll tell you when that happens. Okay, we are going to take everything besides one province from Cilicia and basically have them start all over again as a one location miner. Let's see if they can make it work all over again. Actually, I could just take over the market center. No, we're going to seize their land. So let's do that. Of course, we will dissolve the patriarchate for stupid amounts of money. We will then immediately destroy the Kaplan market. And of course, that gives so much more to Al-Qaeda. Unfortunately, Cyprus is building a new market, so we won't have long to appreciate it. So we're gonna have to go burn down Cairo, or Cyprus, sorry. Okay, so our market with the entire Levant is at about 1,200, which is 5,000 short of Genoa, or 3,000 short of the Deccan Plateau. And as part of trying to control the entire Eastern Mediterranean in a single trade zone, I'm also going to start to eat up um, the south side of the Ottoman's coast. So we're going to fabricate a CB for, yeah, just for Adana. And this should be a really simple, just walk in and burn the place down. They can't stop me. They don't have the guns to. But it's certainly not where I expect to be going today. Okay, so the Ottomans are willing to peace out for me taking all of southern Anatolia, and it is a little intense on the aggressive expansion. Uh, but I am the third greatest power in the world, so I don't think anybody will step up to challenge me on it. Um, I don't think I'm gonna get rid of the Konya market just because if I get rid of it, somebody else is going to make it. But I am going to move it up and have it basically be as out of the way as possible. Um, just shove it over there, and hopefully, since we won't have any infrastructure, it'll just stay away. At the penultimate hour, I might go and collect all these markets and just delete them and see if that fixes it. But I would rather not, have to. And I really don't have this ability to be spending on deleting markets right now when I need to be, oh my gosh. Yeah, because the stability's bad. Nobody's paying taxes. Nobody's happy. Wow, Court and Country might kind of put me on hold for a minute. Okay, well, I'm going to take the entire market from Cyprus and half of the island of Cyprus. Ooh, no, but if I just take over the market, they'll just found a new one. So hopefully by doing this, I encourage them not to rebuild the market. Honest answer is I'm just gonna have to come back and kill Cyprus later. That's the anything I say right now is coping. I'm going to take half of Cyprus because it's too expensive to take all of Cyprus, and I'm going to burn down their market center once I have more stability. Um, I'm also going to take all of my uh, nice professional army to throw down on Little Armenia. All right, it's expensive to do stability wise, but I am going to destroy the Nicosia market, which will, of course, spread the Cairo market a bit more. Hopefully, on the month tick, we see its value go up. It went up about 1,000 ducats. Then I'm going to do something similar to the Gosquin market. Again, hopefully, its value will go up. The problem is, I found that once locations have about 50, that's when the AI will try and build more. And I'm seeing that, like Lebanon, if it wasn't constantly getting invaded by me, probably would be building one up in the north, which is, again, why it's constantly getting invaded by me. All right, we are going to finally wipe Cilicia off the face of the map, take their money, send them on their way. Of course, we're going to dissolve their beloved patriarchate for sweet, sweet payout. But most importantly, we are going to go to their market, Baskun, and okay. Well, as soon as I get the prestige, we're going to delete it. This is why we can't have nice things. It's I only stopped recording for a second, and Cyprus is founding a new market. I need to salt the earth upon which you live. Okay, I think I can do all the funny business and try and conquer around as much as I could possibly want. But the most consistent way to do this is just to sit in Egypt and the land that I've brought into the market and build it up. Stupidly tall. So once I finish integrating all this stuff, I'm just going to take my advisors or my cabinet members and basically sit them in Egypt and have them push development up as high as it can go. Because you can see here the development of some of my cities is hitting 60, which is decent, but then you have stuff like that. Anyway, so push development up as high as it can go, yeah, because we need to get development like how it is in Genoa, which is stupidly high. And I'm sorry, who's founding a new market in Lebanon? Okay, up in the top right corner. That's fine. Not gonna mess with my stuff. Um, and hope that I can get some of the major tech advances before the other guys, so that I basically can balloon my economy before they can. Because we have the pops, we have the economy. I just need more. As for when the little ice age hits, hopefully it doesn't hit us that bad. That's all I can hope, really. I don't think it should affect us because of how warm we're considered, but I honestly, I don't know. Okay, I took out 10,000 ducats in debt just to embrace manufactories early because the manufacturing tax, if I understand correctly, yeah, it has a whole lot of very powerful things that I get to have first, like better textile or stock exchanges, maximum RGO size, minting offices. Oh my gosh, look at them all. Cannon foundries, iron foundries, gold output, crown power. So hopefully, by picking up all of these ahead of the Europeans, I'm able to grow. Oh my gosh, lacquerware manufacturing. Apparently, this is a money printer. So I'm gonna actually cancel all my other research. I think I was cleaning up. Yeah, I was cleaning up stuff way behind. I'm gonna just cancel all other research and worry about. I'll come back for it. I have to rush for this now. Okay. We are now going to go in on the Pope. I'm going to call in the two Sicilies and Milan to help us with favors. I might call Yemen in with favors too, just because it's funny. I don't think they'll do anything. Hopefully, this is enough to crush the Pope completely, and I can steal something in central Italy. Oh, look at that beautiful siege of Rome. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. In fact, you can see here we are creating a minor Catholic minority. But yeah, we just looted Rome. Oh, fantastic, isn't it? Anyway, let's go beat up the Pope's army. Yup. That's the war. It should be, right? Cool. So the Pope is willing to piss off. We're going to take his money. Actually, I care more about war reps than I do. Cool. We are going to take a province to the north of Rome, a province on the eastern side of the peninsula, his money and war reps, and leave. The reason I'm specifically taking those is because I'm now going to come down here and spend a stupid amount of money funding markets to counter the Pope's market in Italy. Where is it? Yeah, we're going to create a market here. And I'm gonna, how much is this one gonna cost me? We're gonna create a market here. Yep, about 40,000 ducats. Hopefully this will blow up the Genoa market. They're probably not gonna be able to feed themselves. I don't care if the markets can feed themselves. I just need them to make it so Genoa is less profitable. This achievement sucks. Don't do it. If you're thinking about doing it, wait until you can do it the intended way. Because at no point have I done this the intended way. The way that this achievement should work is you sit in Kilwa, you build up on the eastern coast of Africa, and you make money through funny little middleman trading. It should involve me going to Egypt and intentionally disrupting foreign markets. It's so painful. It's not what this game is asking you to do when you grow economically. It's intentionally subverting the game. More importantly, we just got lacquerware. Lacquerware is stupidly valuable. So I'm going to make sure that I drop it specifically where I can build a lot. Are you overbuilt at all? No. Good. So to call, you get lacquerware. Build it to the moon. Perfect. Cool. So we're going to build... can I not build anymore? I need more money. Well, this is why we're rich. Just so we can do this. Holy shit, 66? We can build 66 of these? How long is that going to take? No, not that long. So yeah, hopefully by pumping out that much lacquerware into the world, we basically make our economy go nuclear. because lacquerware is something everybody is going to demand. And I can already see that my market value is starting to go up. And I think since this is essentially just industrialization, I think I can industrialize better than the AI. I really, really fucking hope I can. Um, they are just quite expensive to upgrade. Doesn't matter. We'll just do them in batches. I think with every month tick that I finish more lacquerware, my economy grows stupidly bigger. I'm currently up to, let's see here, almost 13,000. Meanwhile, actually, how much have I heard Genoa's market by? Yeah, Genoa's down to 13,000 because of these stupid little markets I built. Not because it made my markets big, but because I stole Milan because of the market access I set up. Yes! Okay, so now the only one I'm really chasing is this one that's at 18,000. That's 5,000 ahead. And I've closed that gap before. And if I take a little peek at the markets by cheating through China, I can see that the Great Wu has a market that is worth, in Nanjing, they have a market that is worth 13,000, and the Hangzhou market is worth 10,000. So I think I seriously have a chance to do this. Salzburg, yeah, you can buy military access. I just have to keep stacking friggin' lacquerware. Look at that sweet, sweet market value ever so slowly creeping up. Um, Currently, we're being bottlenecked by coal. But if I understand correctly, there is improved coking coming up. It's just all the way down there. Yeah. Um, oh my god, and there's better dye works and better perfumeries, better glassworks. There's so much good tech around here. I wonder what a porcelain. Ooh, porcelain's probably worth a lot too. Yeah. Ooh. Um, there is so many good techs here. I really think I'm gonna do it. It's just gonna take time, and I know that you've probably not heard. I hope that I have cut out most of my bitching, but there is so much money in India. It's stupid. Like I've completely forsaken. Well, I haven't completely forsaken. I've ignored my other markets way more than I probably should have. Um, but still, like those those markets in India are so flush with so much population and enough dev to create a whole lot of need that they have. It's all a city. It's one giant city down here. Besides the really valuable RGOs, and it's I don't know what about this market is making it so valuable, right? Like there's nothing. Well, besides their stupid lumber output. I guess that lumber output allows for a tool industry, and that tool industry is really valuable because tool industries are really valuable. And our market value has just broken into 18,000. What I'm doing right now is just spamming out irrigation because irrigation requires tools. So the irrigation will consume my tool production so I can have the value to produce more tools. It's also the added benefit of combating pending food issues. Um, it's a because the hard part isn't just supplying it; it's finding somebody to consume the supply when it explodes like it has. Um, like I'm currently bottlenecked so hard on the fact that I can't get more lumber and more coal. So what I'm doing is I'm bum rushing for improved coking, which I get out of the Age of Absolutism, so that I can create more coal. So my extra imports can then go to importing lumber. Because if I'm gonna have to import, like I'm out of places I can build lumber yards. So it's either I conquer more places in the market to build more lumber yards, or I import lumber. or I get texts that improve my lumber output. Okay, I got called into a stupid war by Milan. I'm going to get out of it by giving the Pope war reps and a buttload of money. It's gonna suck for a little bit, but I really don't care, and I need the piece to be investing back into my market, which is now at 18,000. Wait a second, it's worth more than India. It's worth more than Genoa. What is there a way to sort by most valuable markets in the world? Okay, I cannot see if there's a more valuable market in the world. But of all markets that I can see, I am the most valuable market because I'm sorting by the market value and we are at the top. So, I'm gonna. What do I even do? I need to get to China to see because I can't imagine where else there's a more valuable market, right? Like, I can see. Oh my god. Okay, well, yeah, I can't see it, but I can see what I have to beat now. I think it's the Nuremberg market. Is how do I even check that? The Platinum of the Rhine. Your money here is part of the Nuremberg market. Yeah, okay. Yeah, the Nuremberg market is just making almost 20,000 ducats. How are they doing that? They have all that they need for industrialization, and so okay. Yeah, and the Nuremberg market manages to stretch all the way from like Prussia to Austria. That's insane. The Prague market normally would be taking that, except it seems like the Bohemians got whipped this game. And Nuremberg is eating up all of Bohemia's value. Okay, well, I just need to push the 20,000 because the Nuremberg market is literally 2 ducats off of 20,000. I guess that's who I have to compete against. I was worried about India when my real problem was the Germans. You know what? The Germans can have that much market value. I don't think it matters. I think if I make it to 20,000, I'll still find a way to surpass them. And even if I don't, I'll still find a way to surpass them. Because I'm gonna build an economy better than the fucking AI. I'm gonna send an economy to the moon. I saw my chance for this to be done and you took it from me. I was this close to being free and you spat in my face. I refuse to invade Bavaria. I will just outscale you in the economy. My brain is melting out of my skull. I shit you not. I'm at the point that to create more demand in my market, I'm building troops. I'm doing the military industrial complex. Because so long as I keep troop demand going, or the demand for more things, there's more value to get pulled out of the market. Oh my god! Holy shit! I was just sitting here watching things built up. I didn't even get to 20,000. I got to 19. Did the German market go down? Yes. Oh, I'm free. Oh. This is like day 4 of recording this. I'm so sorry. That must have been loud. I'll have to deal with that. So, there we go. There we have it. As Kilwa have the highest value trade node in the world at 19,000. If we had made it to 20,000, it would have counted too. Um, there were many people I expected to give me problems. The Pope, India, maybe China, but it wasn't the Bavarians who I saw coming. It sure wasn't. Um, oh, sorry, I just gotta savor this for a second. This is alrighty. So let's walk back through this whole campaign because this has been something. Um, Obviously, we started as Kilwa down here, and we have now completely destroyed both the Kilwan and the Swahili culture in the name of the Somali culture. Um, and our goal as Kilwa we realized that there's no way that this market, the Kilwa area, could support a large enough market, or have enough development, or have enough pops. So we moved up to the Horn of Africa, built up a reasonable power base in Ethiopia and in Sudan. It flipped over to the Somali culture, accepted the Nubian culture, ignored this mess in the middle, as you can see with my control, and built up a power base to take Egypt. And oh boy, that first war where I lost, that was so disheartening. But after that, once we were in, it was just a matter of rolling. And we didn't even technically take everything that Egypt once had. I guess if I had gone and kept going into Lebanon and growing out this way and destroyed Tunis, it would have been easier. But at some point, you just want to be done. We have turned the Nile River Delta into a mess of urbanization. Every single one of these locations is maxed out and then some on their building capacity. Um, it is solely through these bonuses here, the local wheat output bonus or the local fruit output bonus, that we are not starving. Um, but we turned that and cranked it and cranked it and cranked it until we hit the necessary market value. We are insanely wealthy. The country is split between the crown and the burghers. The nobles are non-existent. We've managed to grow 1.8 million burger pops. Yeah, the commoners have no power. The dhimmi has no power. I mean, like, we accept a mess of people. If I look at the culture map mode, we are primarily Lower Egyptian. However, we accept Nubian, Somali, Upper Egyptian, Turks, and Levantine Arabs. We tolerate the Pavitin. We tolerate the Syriac. We tolerate the Libyan. And as of now, we tolerate the Hijazi. Um, Control wise, as you can see, well, all that matters. The only place I've been looking for the last 150 years has been the Nile Delta, and it is a beautiful hunter control almost all the way around. Those rivers do some insane work, and then if you span out some bridges, it's you can. This is a playground. If you want a run to get cracked, you sit in the Nile River Delta. I could have been conquering like mad and just painting all over the world, and so long as I had this, um, integrated. No, all of our land is integrated. Not all of it is core. Uh, Actually, looking at the rest of the world, it's unfortunate because I have had it on Auto Explore. We just can't see into Europe. But Aragon definitely won the colonial game. All of these in South Africa, from what I can see, are Aragonese, except for South Africa, which is English. Oh, Aragon also made it all the way to Australia. Wonderful. Is there a way for me to? If we look at the great powers, we see the usual suspects. China, unified and is a economic menace. Even with everything I've been doing, China still has 5 times my economy. That's insane. China also fields almost 500,000 men. Yeah, in short succession, the order of great powers is roughly China, then France, then myself. Oh, I'm sorry. No, no, forgetting somebody. There's also the Raj of Punjab, which is in a PU and continues being a PU with Musaruni, who was my Indian rival market. And oh boy, those two together make a mess. They field almost 1.5 million levies. Um, don't do this. Don't do this achievement. At no point did I do this achievement the intended way. If you could sit in Kilwa and go stupid tall in your little corner of Africa and have a fun time, that would be so awesome. The fact I had to crawl all the way up to Alexandria, build up a stupid tall market, and sit there and just wait till the Industrial Revolution is silly. Don't do this achievement until it gets better to do. Because this wasn't fun. This was a test of patience and CBT. Anyway. If you enjoy Tests of Patience and CBT, stick around, give a like, a comment, and a subscribe to the wonderful Brown Dog 2 YouTube channel. We are on our way to 500 subscribers, and we currently have a community thing going on, where if you leave a comment for a particularly painful campaign, or just a campaign that you want to see, it can be nice. You can just tell me to play as France and have fun. It's going into a Google Sheets I'm keeping track of, and I'm going to basically pick some of the top ones from there, and maybe I'll put up a vote to a couple other ones that are particularly painful. And you can see me suffer your preferred flavor of campaign. Be it following the entire Silk Road as Venice, conquering all of North America, playing as a Central African nation. You know, real fun things, right, guys? Real good times. Anyway, so yeah, do that. Like, comment, subscribe. Don't do African trade. Brown Dog 2 out.